Hi everyone. I'm putting together this video in order to show you just some of the basics about Google Drive and sharing and uploading documents to Google Drive. This is recorded specifically for those that are intending to create a website with Google Sites and understanding how the sharing works within Drive. So first of all, I'm just on Google's main page, and you can see that I'm logged in with a dummy account over here. You can always check and see if you're logged in with your account. When you're on most Google pages, you're going to find an app drawer. It's this little waffle menu up in the corner, and I'm going to go to Drive. The other way to get there is just to type in drive.google.com in order to jump over there. Now, normally when you go to Drive the first time, you have a little getting started PDF here. I'm just going to click that and hit delete. I should point out that this Drive is actually part of an education domain. So it has a couple of extra features that I have turned on that we won't go into, namely in this case a team drive, which you probably won't see there. But on the left hand side of Drive you have kind of the menu, and my Drive is really like your folder structure, and that's where we're going to start. We're going to create a new folder here. Now this is specifically for kind of a website or a portfolio website, so I'm just going to call this portfolio website. And inside that folder, I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to create two new folders. One of them I'm going to call images, and the other one I am going to call artifacts. All right, so once you have things created on the website, the folders here, it's important to put things in those folders. So I'm just going to go right into, and you'll notice in the Drive section I can look at this. I'm just in the portfolio website, and I'm just going to upload a bunch of documents. There's a couple ways to do that. You can upload a file or a folder by clicking here. I have some over here, and I'm actually just going to drag so that you can see this. I'm going to drag an entire folder over from my desktop. So I have it open on another screen. So I just drug a folder that had about 10 files in there, and you can see it just pulls up that entire folder, and it's chock full of files. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these into the places that I want. So for example, these images, I'm just going to drag and put them in the images area. A couple of keyboard shortcuts for those of you that are good with Windows as well. I can shift click to select a range, or I can control click to just select specific ones. So I'm going to put the images over here, and I'm going to say that these are my artifacts, so I'm going to put them over here. And then I'm going to right click on this folder that I uploaded and just remove it. So you'll notice now I have this portfolio website, and I've got two folders in here. So let's take a look at the artifacts. One of the ways, and by default this is what it looks like, this is the grid view that kind of shows you a little preview of each thing. I personally prefer to use the list view, and if you click on the little button over here, it switches back and forth. I like the list view because it shows me what kind of file it is. So I have a Word document, a PowerPoint, a PDF. When I jump over into images, I can still see their images, but it gives me the file name, shows me who owns it, and when it was last modified, which is all really important things for us to understand. So once you have things up here in your Google Drive, you'll notice that you can drag these things and move them around if you need to. You will see down here on the left hand side, shared with me will show you any files that someone else has shared with you. If that happens, you can then add it to your drive. So for example, I'm going to go over and share. Alright, so I shared a document over here, and you'll notice it's in the shared with me, it's an untitled document. I can right click on this thing and actually add it to my drive. So I'm going to click add to my drive and then organize and tell it where I want this thing to be. Once it ends up there, I have the documents. You're going to see that this one is actually owned by my other account, and it's shared with me, and I can tell because it's got this little icon on here that says this is a shared file. Alright, so what if you want to share files yourself? There's a couple ways to do this. What I'm going to show you first is just sharing it with an individual person. So if I wanted to share this document certification skills with a specific person, so only they could open it, I could put in their email address, and then decide whether or not I want them to be able to edit the file, comment the file, or view the file. All right, so I just want Groot to be able to do that. So I'm going to send that, and it'll notify them if you choose so. And that was done by right-clicking it. Another way to share files is just to right-click on something and use this Get Shareable link. And what it does, it gives you a little toggle switch that you can turn it on. And this makes it viewable so that you can see up here, anyone with the link can view. Now mine's a different kind of account, so I'm actually going to go into sharing settings and change this so that it says anyone with the link can view this file. All right, and that's what it's normally going to look like. Notice this is the same screen that I used before as well, and the Get Shareable links up in the corner. So I could do that for each individual one of these files and go through and say I want to turn them on. But the reason that we're making a website is to share it with other people. So I am just going to go out to my drive and right-click on the entire website folder and hit Get Shareable Link. I'm going to turn it on. And again, because I'm with a school account, I have to go into sharing settings and say anyone with the link can view these files. All right, and you'll notice that each of the folders now has a sharing little icon in it. It's got a little silhouette of a person. And when I go into each one of these images, they're all shared so that someone can use it. That way, if I put this image on my website, whoever goes to that website will be able to see it. Otherwise, that image is actually private, and they might need permissions to see that. So that is really, in a nutshell, how you can upload things to Google Drive and then be able to share them. The last thing I want to point out is that in my artifacts section, I have some PowerPoints and Word documents. I can actually take this and open it with Google Docs, and it will convert this and actually create a second file in there with Google Documents so that it's something I could share and actually edit online. So I'm going to close that, and you'll notice that I now have two files here, the Word file and the Google document. So it's nice that you can do that with Excel to Google Sheets. You can do it with PowerPoint to Google Slides. Although with PowerPoint, you got to be careful because it will remove some of your really kind of creative formatting. So always just be aware of how you want that to look in the end. And then PDFs are just PDFs. One of the reasons that we upload everything to Google Drive for creating this website is it makes a really nice preview whenever you link on these, and with the new Google Sites, there's not a way to upload files directly yet. So now I have all my images and artifacts that I'm going to use on creating a website.